Jaji.
Eric Suiseka.
Judy N.
In today's world, a single social media post can reach thousands in seconds. For young people especially, social platforms are powerful spaces where opinions form and trends spread, but they can also mislead. Cameroonian-born author Eric Suiseka Bannavti, now based in the United States, is helping users navigate this digital age. Through his new book, he shows how to safely and critically engage with social media in the era of artificial intelligence.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Eric Suiseka. I am a Cameroonian-born media and IT professional currently based in the United States, where I have lived and worked for several years. Despite being abroad, my heart, my work, and my commitment remain deeply connected to Cameroon and to Africa. My mission is to use my experience in technology, media, and education to help our youth, our students, and our professionals prepare for the future, especially in the era of artificial intelligence and digital transformation. I strongly believe that Africa's greatest resource is not oil, not minerals, but its people, especially its young population. When our youth are properly educated, digitally skilled, and ethically grounded, they can compete globally while still building locally.
He explores the rise of alternative truths, helping readers distinguish between genuine perspective and manufactured misinformation.
Genuine dissenting perspectives are healthy in any society. They are usually based on evidence, logic, and a willingness to engage in honest debate. They invite discussion, they accept questions, and they are open to correction. Manufactured misinformation is different. It is often designed to provoke strong emotions rather than critical thinking. It spreads fear, anger, or division. It rarely provides verifiable sources, and it discourages people from questioning it. Ordinary users can protect themselves by asking 3 simple questions. Who is behind this information and what is their interest? Can I verify this from reliable sources? How is the message making me feel? Calm and informed, or angry and panicked? When content immediately triggers strong emotions, that is often a sign of manipulation.
Bannavti also highlights the psychological traps of social media confirmation bias, herd mentality, and emotional manipulation, and offers ways users can stay aware and resist them.
One of the biggest dangers on social media today is not just misinformation, it's psychological manipulation. We live inside confirmation bias, where algorithms keep showing us what we really already agree with. That creates a herd mentality. People stop thinking and start following. Add emotional manipulation, fear, outrage, sensational headlines, and now decisions are no longer logical, they are reactive. So how do we resist this? Pause before you react, question what you see, verify before you share, and most importantly, train your mind to think independently. In the age of AI and social media, your greatest power is not information, it's awareness.
In my book, Facts, Filters, and Traps, I explain that social media platforms are not neutral tools. They are active architects of public opinion. On the surface, they look like open spaces where everyone can speak freely, but behind the scenes, algorithms decide what gets promoted, what gets hidden, and what goes viral. And these decisions are based mainly on engagement, not on truth, balance, or social responsibility. Content that creates strong emotions like anger, fear, or excitement is usually rewarded with more visibility. Over time, this shapes what people think is important, what they believe is popular, and even what they consider normal. So even though users create the content, platforms control the distribution. And in the digital world, distribution is power. That is why I argue that these platforms are not positive tools. They actively influence public opinion, public political debate, social values, and cultural trends. My message is not that technology is bad. It is that technology is powerful, and when we understand how it works, we stop being unconsciously influenced and start becoming conscious, responsible citizens.
Responsibility for misinformation is shared, he says, among tech companies, governments, and individual users.
In my books, I did emphasize that combating information cannot be the responsibility of just one group. It must be shared between tech companies, governments, and individual users. Tech companies carry a major responsibility because they design the systems, they create the algorithms that decide what spreads and what disappears. So they must invest in transparency and content moderation and ethical AI design. When profit becomes more important than truth, misinformation thrives. Governments also have a role. They must establish fair regulations that protect freedom of expression while discouraging harmful manipulation. The goal should not be censorship, but accountability. However, individual users remain the most important line of defense. No algorithm can force you to share false information. No government can replace personal judgment. Every time we verify before sharing, question before reacting, and think before believing, we weaken the power of misinformation. In the digital age, citizenship is no longer only physical, it is also digital, and responsible digital citizens are essentials in a healthy society.
For young users, Bannavti emphasizes simple daily habits to protect themselves from online manipulation.
Social media and digital technology are now part of everyday life. Young people use them for news, education, business, activism, and entertainment. For many, the phone has become their main source of information. In the books, I show that without digital literacy, people become vulnerable to misinformation, political manipulation, online scams, identity confusion, and unrealistic lifestyles promoted on social media. In Cameroon, where access to formal media education is still limited for many, these risks are even higher. A single false story can spread across WhatsApp, Facebook, and TikTok in minutes and influence entire communities. These books help people understand how information is produced, how algorithms work, and how narratives are shaped. That knowledge gives power. It empowers young people to think independently, to make informed decisions, and to use technology for development instead of division. In both my books, I emphasize that digital literacy is a new form of education. Learning how to evaluate information is no longer optional. It is essential for protecting our minds, our decisions, and our communities. To consciously resist this trap, we must practice intellectual discipline. That means intentionally exposing ourselves to different viewpoints, even when they make us uncomfortable. It means asking, what if I'm wrong? What evidence will change my mind? In the AI era, mental independence is a form of power. When you control your thinking, you cannot easily be manipulated. And that is one of the central messages of my books.
His work is particularly relevant for Cameroonians at home, where growing internet access brings both opportunities and risk.
If I had to give one If I had to give young social media users just one daily habit, it will be this: practice conscious pause before you react or share anything online. In my books, I explain digital manipulation depends on speed. Algorithms are designed to push content that triggers instant reactions, anger, excitement, fear, or outrage, because emotional people click, comment, and share more. When you pause, even for 10 seconds, you interrupt that system. Before liking, commenting, or reposting, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Is this information verified? Is it helping me or manipulating me? Does sharing this add value or confusion? That small moment of reflection restores control to you. Over time, this habit builds critical thinking, emotional discipline, and digital maturity. In the AI era, intelligence is not just about what you know. It is about how well you manage your attention, your emotions, and your decisions. And that daily pause is how you protect all the 3.
Through his dedication, Bannavti is a model of hard work and commitment, showing how Cameroonians abroad can contribute knowledge and inspiration to communities back home. In the era of AI and social media, he reminds us that technology may shape the flow of information, but critical thinking shapes the truth.